All right, this week's hot seat comes from one of my favorite clients and customers. His name's Kyle Widner, and he's going to ask a really good question. I'll sort of decode it a little bit for you, and then I'm going to explain and give you my response.
Hey Mike and Ed, I've got a question for you. So as I go about building my platform business, can I think about an exit strategy? Is there an exit strategy for a platform business? Someday I might want to walk away. Can I?
All right, great question, Kyle. And for you, if you don't understand some of the terminology that Kyle's using, which is exit strategy in a platform business, let me explain to you what that means. Exit strategy means how are you going to sell the business and maybe walk away from it, especially if you build something called a personality-based business, which sometimes a platform business can be that. That means you might be, let's say, creating a coaching program that uses your name or your brand. Like Brian Tracy, for example, has a platform business. He speaks, he consults. Tony Robbins has a platform business. He talks and he's got events and that sort of thing. There's a lot of people in the platform world, and some of them have very successfully been able to walk away. And here's how and why. For example, my friend Harv Eker was able to build his business and sell that, even though he was the name, he was the figurehead. And that's because you can create intellectual property. You can create, let's say, a book and a marketing process, or what's known as a marketing funnel, and then maybe a certification or a coaching program. Now, it turns out that if you have a coaching program or a certification program that teaches a specific set of skills, a coach could actually take those on, teach and execute and deliver it without the figurehead needing to be there at all. So, certain figureheads have been able to create their products, create what's known as a marketing funnel. It might be a series of videos or a marketing process that consistently earns income from traffic sources or from media or press or whatever it may happen to be. And then what they're able to do is sell their intellectual property or license it, and then be able to sell their process and their certification program and continue to receive either an upfront set of money for that. It might be a flat buyout or a licensing fee where maybe you'll get a percentage of sales for a certain period of time, and you might get a bonus or a bump if you come out with new products or services. So the answer, in short, Kyle, is yes. As long as you plan ahead and you think and realize that what people really want to buy, a business wants to buy, is access to an audience, having a following, having a reputation, and that in fact is my definition of a brand. So great question. Let's keep them coming. And if you have any questions that you'd like to put on the hot seat, make a short video and send it to MikeKoenigsShow@gmail.com. All right, well, that's our show, but I want to share a few maybe closing comments with you right now, and that's this. What's the bottom line? Andrew Locke, for example, he's been doing shows for a long time. He's kind of been in the business for a couple decades at this point, and he's been producing his weekly podcast for quite some time. And just showing up has given him authority and influence and access to celebrities and the ability to persuade his following and his tribe. And I want to encourage you right now to go over and subscribe to the extended interview that I did with Andrew by subscribing to our podcast. That's at mrbz.com/podcast. There I go in depth with him, and he shares a lot more, and we actually go back and forth. He's a great interview and a lot of fun. And I hope you also learned some ideas about how to captivate and actually interview people yourself. Hopefully you got a bunch of good ideas. And that is the big lesson here. In the end, this is all about building and growing a list. It's about presenting offers, whether they're yours or someone else's, to that audience. And the more access you have, the more celebrity, credibility, authority, and influence, that gives you the access to move mountains with a tiny press and a push. And if you haven't looked this up before, I highly recommend you look up 1,000 True Friends and the keyword Tim Ferriss. He had a guest commentator on his blog talking about that some time ago. And the whole idea is if you just get 1,000 true fans, these are people who are your true tribe, they follow everything you do, just through that you have the ability to move mountains, because people will do favors for you. They'll share your message, spread your word, and also talk about you as well. And after all, if you want to grow a brand that has long-term value that you can sell someday, that gives you leverage, it's all about buzz, and it's all about influence, and it's all about getting attention and growing an audience. And the more you have that, the more you get. And that again comes from consistency, it's discipline, and good old-fashioned hard work, because being an entrepreneur is probably one of, if not the hardest things you'll ever do. But it comes with massive rewards, and you won't get any other form of freedom any other way than being an entrepreneur yourself. I think it gives you more rewards, and it gives you more satisfaction, because you have the ability to help a lot of people and to see what your efforts and what your information, what your knowledge can do to help them along and change the world. And being able to share a message consistently is one of the secrets to making that happen. So hopefully you'll be inspired from this program to go out and grow your own platform. My name is Mike Koenigs. Thank you so much for watching the show. Make sure you post some comments, you share this with your friends, you like it on social platforms, and make sure you also subscribe to the podcast. I'd love to hear more of your comments and feedback. You can do that by sending an email right now to MikeKoenigsShow@gmail.com. So long, I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, this is Mike, and we're at the point in the video where you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that way you'll get notified every single time one of our new videos or shows is live. Also, when you subscribe to our podcast at mrbz.com/podcast, you're going to get long format interviews that I do that are a little more in depth than you may find in the show, and some other bonus content too. And finally, head on over to mrbz.com/show. Register there. You can apply for hot seats, a chance to win free gadgets at Mike's Gadget Giveaway, and an opportunity to actually appear on the show as well. All that information is at mrbz.com/show. Thanks for subscribing.